Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? My name is Michael Ballman. I am a full-time Twitch TV broadcaster. I stream on a full-time basis, 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I play Starcraft 2. And that's what I'm known for. That's what people watch me for, and things of that nature. And I just kind of wanted to make a video, be a little more formal, be a little more professional about my channel. Instead of just having a wall of text there that you got to read, you can actually, you know, just do a video and kind of tell you who I am, what I've done, where I've been, stuff like that. Um, when I was about 2 years old, my uncle used to play a lot of video games, and he used to play Nintendo. A lot of Mario, stuff like that. And when I was 2 years old, he would, he'd be sitting there playing video games, and he would hand me the controller, and it wasn't plugged in or anything, but I thought I was playing. And that's just kind of like where it all started in terms of my video game addiction, I guess. So growing up, you know, I spent a lot of time playing Super Nintendo, Game Boy, GameCube, PC games, stuff like that. And so for my entire life, it's just, I mean, really, it's just been one big video game for me. And but growing up, like, yeah, I play a lot of games and stuff like that, but I never really once thought that I would be doing what I'm doing today, broadcasting video games. Um, when I was going through school and high school and stuff like that, I did the norm, you know, play football, play baseball on the basketball team, all this stuff. Um, but ultimately, what it was for me was bowling, and I got really good at it out of high school. So I was averaging about 215 to 220, something like that, like really good, and yada yada, so on and so forth. Um, but all that time, I always seemed to fall back on spending most of my time playing things like Starcraft, Brood War, and I got into Starcraft because I went over to a buddy's house, way back in 1998, and he showed me the game, and I thought it was pretty cool. So I sat down and I started playing it, and I can still to this day remember my first game of Starcraft was on the fastest map ever, and I was playing Protoss, and I was playing a 1 versus 1, and I literally littered the entire map with photon cannons, and I felt like a god. I did. I felt like a god. I was like, "There's no way this guy can't do shit. He's done." And then a bunch of Guardians came and rage quit, and that was back in 1998. And during that time, I I really liked it. I was It was fun. And I actually, after that initial game, I started, kind of exploring the game, and I ended up playing custom games, or use map settings. And, for probably the first year or two, that's basically all I played. And then, I got to a point where I started to get kind of bored, and I wanted to try out the melee type, and I started playing BGH and stuff like that, and I did that for 10 years or however long it was. And literally, very rarely days went by where I wasn't playing. You know, maybe I got grounded or something like that, and they wouldn't let me play. But for the most part, I was always every day. Like I would say bare minimum 4 hours a day, just sitting there playing Starcraft. And there was about a 6 month period in my high school years where I actually just stopped because I just got bored. I didn't want to play it anymore, and I started playing the Frozen Throne, Warcraft 3. Well, not the Frozen Throne. I started with Reign of Chaos, and I got pretty good at that with my ranged team ally. But then when the Frozen Throne released, I didn't like it. I didn't like the patch. I didn't like the Beastmaster, you know, having to hire that merc or whatever. And so I went back to StarCraft, and back to StarCraft I stayed for, you know, another 5 years or whatever. And so StarCraft 2 released, and this was actually when I was living with my ex-girlfriend in our apartment. And when I was living with her, somehow, I don't remember how, but I found out about Justin TV back, you know, 5 years ago. And originally, you know, I was working a full-time job with her, and you know, we were, you know, just doing our thing. But when I would get home, I would play StarCraft 2, and when I found out about Justin TV, I was like, well, it sounds like a pretty cool idea. Let's try it out. You know, broadcast to people. I feel like I'm pretty good at the game, and at that time I was like really high rated on the ladder, so I thought maybe, you know, people would be interested in that. So I started doing it, and pretty much every night I would stream it, and you know, me and my girlfriend broke up, and I moved back home with my grandparents, which is where I live now. You know, 5 years ago, I still live here, and I stopped working at my job. I was on unemployment, and I just kept doing the broadcasting thing. You know, I mean, all the while looking for work and stuff like that. And I just, you know, when I wasn't looking for work, I was broadcasting. And before too long, I got partnered on Justin TV, where I started, you know, playing the advertisements, and you know, I started generating income that way. And it basically just got to a point where I didn't need to be on unemployment anymore. And obviously, I, you know, kept looking for work because money wasn't great, but you know, it was a lot more than what I was making being on unemployment, right? So I that's how I supplemented myself, just from playing advertisements. And you know, as time went on, streaming evolved, and they switched over to Twitch TV, and you know, I got featured on TeamLiquid.net, and you know, I started getting a lot more people coming in on the channel. And it soon became apparent to me that if I put the time and I put the effort into entertaining the people that are watching me, then I should, in theory, be able to make a full-time career out of this. And so that was the decision that I made when I started generating an income that was acceptable at the time. And so, you know, my whole life I've made bad decisions in the past, and I've just not really followed through with things. And so when I made the decision to stream full time on Twitch, it was a done deal basically. Like I had just decided 5 years ago, 4 years ago, however long it was, that this is what I'm doing, and I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna give up, regardless of what happens. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep entertaining these people, and they're gonna know that they can come here to hang out and be entertained by a high-level player in Starcraft 2. And that was the decision I made, and I stuck with it, and I still to this day have that same fire and burning passion and desire to do this. And you know, what I stream isn't exactly the most popular on Twitch, but I love doing it, and I have a lot of fun when I do it. And I firmly believe that as a broadcaster, you need to have a passion for something that you're going to stream to other people, and not just stream it because it's popular. That's just how I think. Like, whether it's right, whether it's wrong, it's irrelevant. This is what I love doing. This is what I'm going to do. And so that's where we are today. That the success that I've had in the last 5 years of broadcasting has just been because of how much time and how much effort I've put into my work. And it's going great. It's going fantastic, and I have no plans on stopping at all. Um, but yeah. So anyway, just instead of having just a wall of text you could read about me, I just thought it might be a little more formal and maybe a little more informative to just create a video specifically for who I am and what it is I'm doing and what my goals are and where I'm going to be in the next 10 years. I'm going to be right here. So I hope you enjoy my stream. I hope you do come back. And if you can get through the rage and the salt, truth be told, I've toned down quite a bit, and that just comes with age, right? But if you can get through the salt, if you can get through the rage, you're gonna find yourself having a good time here, man. I appreciate everybody who watches my channel on a regular basis, and I always make sure to provide the content and make sure it's there daily, every day. So, hope you enjoy the channel, and yeah, click that follow button.